After studying the important basic fundamentals of contour integration, uh, that was simply connected region, singularity of an analytic function. Now we are going to state and prove a very important theorem which is known as Cauchy's integral theorem. You will find that this theorem has a great importance in finding the integrals of an analytic function. So as it is a theorem, so first of all we will state the theorem, we will know the statement of the theorem, and after that we will first of all prove it, and then we will discuss its applications. So what is the statement of this theorem? What the theorem says? So a statement is a statement. Cauchy's integral theorem states that if f of z is analytic and its partial derivatives when you say partial derivatives of f of z, what are you saying? You are saying that del u del x del u del y del v del x del v del y. So these partial derivatives are continuous, or you may say f dash z is continuous throughout some simply connected region. Then for every closed path C, within this region or inside this region, within this region, integral of f of z dz along C equal to 0. What this statement says? Let us consider a simply connected region, and this is a simple closed curve inside this region. Then the statement says that if f of z is an analytic function and it is analytic in this region, in this complete region, and simultaneously all the partial derivatives, that is del u by del x, del u by del y, del v by del x, del v by del y, are continuous throughout this region, then if you draw any closed path in this region, then along that closed path, the integral of f of z will vanish, will be 0. See the symbol of integral in this expression. I have just encircled the sign of integral. When we encircle the sign of integral, this symbol means that integration is done around a closed path. This indicates integration around a closed path. And here you see I have put a sign of arrow in anti-clockwise sense on this symbol. What does it mean? When we put a sign of arrow in anti-clockwise sense or counterclockwise sense, it means this path is traversed in anti-clockwise sense, and conventionally we take the anti-clockwise sense as positive sense. So this sign indicates that path is traversed in anti-clockwise sense, and anti-clockwise sense means positive sense. Conventionally we take this sense positive, and the equation defined in equation A is known as Cauchy integral theorem. So equation A is what? This is Cauchy's integral theorem. Cauchy's integral theorem. So I hope you have understand what the statement says. The statement says that if there is a simply connected region, and in that simply connected region there is an analytic function f of z which is analytic in that region, and we consider any closed path in that region, then along that closed path the integral of f of z will vanish, but only when all the partial derivatives of f of z are continuous in this region everywhere. This is the statement of this very important theorem which is called Cauchy's integral theorem. Now we will just prove this theorem at first. So let us know its proof. You will see the proof of this theorem is very simple. Take all steps seriously. You will easily understand how we will prove this theorem. So let us consider a closed path C in a simply connected region, and in that region the analytic function f of z we consider. How f of z is defined? We know f of z is equal to u of xy plus I times v of xy. We know it, and at the same time how this complex variable z is defined? Z is defined as z equal to x plus I times of y, and therefore what will be this dz? Dz will be simply dx plus I dy. So see, I have defined f of z and dz. Now we have to evaluate the integral of f of z with respect to z along the closed path C considered in the simply connected region. So now we have to evaluate this integral, and as I have told you, I am traversing this closed path in anti-clockwise sense, which is in fact positive sense. Whenever there will be clockwise sense of traversing, the integral must be taken negative, as we will see in the further steps. So f of z dz, integral f of z dz along the closed path C in anti-clockwise sense. What is this f of z? We have defined it here. So let us put this is u plus ib. For simplicity, I have left the argument x and y. I am just writing this u plus ib. And dz is what? dz is dx plus I times of dy. I times of dy. Let us simplify it. This will be integral, see here, u dx. This is u dx and ib times I dy. I square is minus 1, so I write minus, and v dy. V dy. And plus, I am just breaking the integral in two parts. I is a common factor, so take it outside of the integral. See, now this will be u into I dy. I has been taken as a common factor, so inside the integral there will be u dy and plus iv times dx. I is outside of the integral, so this will be v dx plus v dx. Let us say for simplicity, this first integral is I1 and this second integral is I2. For simplicity, I have assumed it, and so integral along CF of z dz is equal to I1 plus I times I2. Let us say this is equation 1. Now, we will evaluate these two integrals I1 and I2 by using an important theorem which we study in vector calculus, and that theorem is called Green's theorem or Stokes theorem in a plane. What this theorem states? So, according to Green's theorem, or Stokes theorem. In a plane. Remember, when we consider general Stokes theorem, then the form is different. But this is simply Green's theorem in a plane is nothing. This is simply a Stokes theorem in a plane. And what this theorem states? This theorem states that integral along a closed path, say C, of m dx plus n dy, where m and n are two exact differences. This is equal to, this line integral is converted into double integral by the use of Green's theorem, and the theorem says that this line integral will be equal to integral over R. Here R is the region enclosed by the closed curve C. Let us see, this is in fact a closed curve C, and R is the region enclosed by it, and this region is in fact where? This is in fact in XY plane. This is in XY plane. XY plane. And the theorem says this is equal to del n by del x minus del m by del y. Del m by del y. Dx dy. Ds dy. This is in fact a statement of the Green's theorem. We will compare our result with this Green's theorem. See equation number 1, where the integral I1 is this much and integral I2 is this much. We will evaluate these two integrals by the use of this Green's theorem defined in a plane. So, using Green's theorem, in a plane, let us see what will be I1. I1 is what? I have written I1 for integral along C u dx minus v dy. So compare this result with Green's theorem. You see here that u is equivalent to m and minus v is equivalent to n. So RHS of the Green's theorem will be written what? This will be integral over R. Here is del n by del x, but n is equivalent to minus v. So there will be minus del v del x and minus del m by del y. M is equivalent to u. So this will be minus del u by del y and dx dy. say it is equation 2. Now again we will find I2 by using the Green's theorem in a plane. So see, I2 is what? See the above equation. I2 is in fact integral along C v dx plus u dy. So here if we compare it with the Green's theorem, what we will find? Here v is equivalent to m and u is equivalent to n. So in the light of Green's theorem, what we will write it? We will write it, this will be integral over r del u del x minus del v del y and dx dy. Say it is equation 3. I have just evaluated the two integrals I1 and I2 by the use of Green's theorem. Now as the statement of Cauchy integral theorem says that the partial derivatives del u del x del v del x del u del y and del v del y, these are in fact continuous in the region R. The region R, which is in fact a simply connected region. So if these partial derivatives are continuous everywhere in the simply connected region R, then shear conditions will be valid and we can apply the shear condition. So shear conditions hold. Shear conditions hold. And what are shear conditions? Shear conditions are del u del x equal to del v del y and del u del y is equal to minus del v del x. So let us substitute these values in above two equations, that is equation number 2 and equation number 3. See here, according to shear equation, this del v by del x will be equal to minus del u by del y, and here is minus, so that will be plus. So plus del u by del y and minus del u by del y will cancel out. And in similar manner, you know from shear equation that del u by del x, this is in fact equal to del v by del y, and here is minus del v by del y. So this del v by del y and this del v by del y will cancel out. So what will be our result, or what you find? We simply find that by the use of shear equation that both of the integrals I1 and I2 get vanished. Hence, from 2 and 3. In equation 2 and 3, when we will use this CR condition, we will find that I1 equal to I2 and this equal to 0. And so, if I1, I2 is 0, see equation 1, then integral along C in counterclockwise sense f of z dz equal to 0. And in fact this is Cauchy's integral theorem. So the theorem is proved. We write Q E D, quod erat of demonstrandum. Whenever we prove a theorem, we must write after proof QED, which means quod erat of demonstrandum, and that means the theorem has been proved. One thing here is very remarkable, that this integral of f of z along a closed path in a simply connected region is independent of that path. In fact, this had already been said in the statement that this integral vanishes for any closed path of this region. So this is in fact independent of the nature of the path. Now, after knowing the Cauchy integral theorem, we are in a stage to know a very important corollary, or you may say that corollary, that the Cauchy integral theorem for multiply connected region. Think, what we have studied till now, that was Cauchy's integral theorem in a simply connected region. And now, as a corollary, we will discuss Cauchy's integral theorem for a multiply connected region. So, we are now dealing with corollary. Cauchy's integral theorem for multiply connected region. Multiply connected region. Multiply connected region. What this corollary states? In fact, this states that if the function f of z is analytic at all points within the region between two simple closed curves which are non-intersecting, and you have studied that the region between two non-intersecting closed curves is known as a multiply connected region, or if there are only two closed curve, then we can say that a doubly connected region. In that region, the integral of f of z along both of the curves will be same. This is a statement. For simplicity, I am just writing the statement first of all, and then I will prove it. What the statement says? The statement says that if f of z is analytic in a region between two simple closed curves, say C1 and C2. Then integral of f of z along C1 is equal to integral along C2 of f of z. This is the statement of this corollary. Let us see what this statement says and how we will prove it. Let us consider that there are two simple closed curves. Let us say these are C1 and C2. We consider this curve as C1 and this curve is C2. We know that this region between the two simple closed curve is a doubly connected region or a multiply connected region, not a simply connected region. But Cauchy integral theorem is applicable in case of a simply connected region. So we can apply Cauchy integral theorem in this case only when if this multiply connected region is transformed into a simply connected region. But how? How we can transform this in a simply connected region? In the basic fundamentals, I have told you that when the two simple closed curves are connected by one another, connected to one another by a cross cut or a scissor cut, then the region between the two simple closed curve becomes a simply connected region. So now see in this figure, I am just connecting the two closed curves by a cross cut. Say this point is A, then this point is also A. These are not different points. And if this point is B, then this point is also B. Now see the sense of rotation. If we traverse this curve C1 along anti-clockwise sense, then here AB will be traversed in this sense, and see the sense of rotation along C2. This is in fact clockwise, not anti-clockwise. And after starting from A, we will reach to the point A, and now this region is not multiply connected region, but it is simply connected region. And as it is simply connected, so we can apply Cauchy integral theorem for this region. for this region. See here. Now after making the cross cut, the multiply connected region has been transformed into simply connected region, and now we can apply Cauchy integral theorem. So applying Cauchy's integral theorem. Integral along C f of z dz equal to 0. And what will be this integral along C? See here. This integral is in fact the sum of the following integrals. See the figure. This will be integral along C1 in anti-clockwise sense. This is f of z dz plus integral of f of z dz along AB, this part AB. We reach from A to the point A along C1 in anti-clockwise sense, that is represented by first integral. Now we traverse from A to B, and that is represented by this second integral. Plus, not plus, but see, this curve C2 is traversed in clockwise sense. So we must take here the sign of negative sign, and this, when you will take negative sign, then here will be anti-clockwise sense. So this is along C2. F of z dz. And now we will reach to the point B, and from B we will reach to point A. So the last term will be what? The last term will be plus integral along BA f of z dz, and this is equal to 0. Now see, we can write this integral as C1 f of z dz minus integral along C2 f of z dz plus integral along AB f of z dz, and here is BA. If we will invert the limit, the integral will be what? This will be minus AB f of z dz, and this equal to 0. Now these two integrals will cancel out, and see what we will get. We simply get that integral along C1 f of z dz is equal to integral along C2 f of z dz. And this was the statement of this kernel. And in fact, this fact is already contained in the statement of Cauchy's integral theorem, that the integral of f of z along f of z is independent of the path. Along any path in that simply connected region, this integral vanishes. So the result has been proved, and from this result we draw a very important another result. Now let us see, there are in fact several closed curves, but they are non-intersecting. For simplicity, I am directly drawing the cross cut. So let us see here. These are cross cut. These are some curves. Let us say this curve is C1, this curve is C2. Actually, I have already made the cross cut to prove the result, but originally there will be no cross cut. This is C3. Let us say this is C3, and this is the last curve, let us say nth curve, this is Cn. We consider it. So see the sense of traversing. Consider this point is A, this is B, this will be again A, because these 2 points are not different points. This is a scissor cut, and the scissor cut the curve at only one point, so the A and A are same, so the name A and A, and say it is C, this will be also C, this is D, then this will be also D, and so on. So see here, the region between the curves C1, C2, C3 and Cn are multiply connected region. But when we will connect the curves by cross cuts, then you know that the region will become a simply connected region. And if it is a simply connected region, then we can apply Cauchy integral theorem. So now apply the Cauchy integral theorem for this simply connected region. So we have from Cauchy integral theorem, integral along C f of z dz equal to 0. And what this integral will be? In fact, this integral will be the sum of the following integrals. So take it, this is integral along C1 f of z dz minus integral along C2 f of z dz minus integral along C3 f of z dz minus so on minus integral along Cn f of z dz, and this equal to 0. Why we have taken negative sign in these integrals? You see there, the sense of traversing or sense of rotation along C2, C3 and Cn are not anti-clockwise but clockwise. So the negative sign has been taken. So what we get from this result? We find that integral along C1 f of z dz is equal to, let us take these terms in right side. This will be simply integral along C2 f of z dz plus integral along C3 f of z dz plus integral along we take so on plus integral along Cn f of z dz. Actually, I have shortened the calculation to some extent. Here we have not considered the integral along the paths A, B, C, D and etc. Because you have seen above that when we will take integral along AB, that will be cancelled out by the integral taken along BA, and along CD will be cancelled out by integral along DC and so on. So we have just seen above, and so I do not take into account here. So what we find if in this result, we simply find that if there are several closed non-intersecting curves, then inside a curve say C1, then integral of f of z along C1 will be simply the sum of integral of f of z along all those curves which lie inside C1. So this is a very remarkable fact, and in next lecture of Cauchy integral theorem we will see some of its applications or simple examples, or you may say problems, how we will evaluate this integrals of complex variable by using Cauchy integral theorem. That will be the second lecture of Cauchy integral theorem. So this is all for today.